Another transfer story that we always seem to talk about every single week is obviously Alexander Isak. And I don't know what to make of this because Newcastle still haven't signed that striker that they've been wanting to replace him. And now the deal with Brentford for Vissa seems to be stalling because Brentford apparently have upped the price and Newcastle aren't as confident in signing him. So where are we with this? Because Liverpool can't wait around forever for Isak, and if they go with the options as they are up front, then it does look a little bit thin.
Yeah, it's a bit of a concern, you have to admit, around the fact that Newcastle seemingly cannot sign a replacement. I mean, there's a few things at play here. I do wonder whether Newcastle are dragging the feet a little bit just to make sure this goes past next Monday. Just, they don't want that, Isak potentially being in the squad to face them, I imagine. And surely they're not so incompetent that they can't get a forward over the line at some point in this window. I mean, how long have they been chasing? How many times have they been turned down by multiple different players? It's pretty staggering at the moment. So, yeah, one thing, it could be a block to it. That is the concern about it. I know, I see a lot of talk of kind of, oh, well, there's no chance that Newcastle are going to just block the move on the basis that they can't sign someone in their own incompetence. But equally, Newcastle don't want to go into a season in which they compete in the Champions League and want to get back in the Champions League again with just Anthony Gordon up front being backed up by Asula. It's not enough. And so, I'm sure there is a point at which they would say, well, we are just going to flip the coin, roll the dice rather, and try and rehabilitate Isak. So that feels like a live possibility at the moment. That said, they are working on it. Like I say, it does have a feel of they're just trying to delay. And we've seen talk today of alternative striker targets, haven't we? That they are looking at, and that I think it's Strand Larsen at Wolves, and that he is one of a few on the list. So they are actively pursuing strikers. So it still makes you lean towards, as I said, I think last time, that it will get done in the end, and that Newcastle are pursuing those strikers for a reason. The player wants to move. Liverpool are there, willing to pay a really massive fee. So all the ingredients are there. But yeah, I think it's fair for fans to be a little bit nervous about Newcastle getting one over the line. And, you would feel a lot better about if they were making solid moves towards that with 2 weeks of the window left. So yeah, fingers crossed they can get it sorted, because then that will open up the route for Isak to come to Anfield.
It does feel quite cynical to say that Newcastle are just waiting till after the game, but could it really be as simple as that, as Newcastle just don't want to sell their star player to Liverpool before they play them? Because it feels, the 25th of August isn't that far away from the transfer deadline. So is it really, should we really think that cynically?
Yeah, I mean, this is how football clubs operate, 100%. I've had many stories of kind of things like that where it's, football is kind of just a childish nonsense at times. I mean, I just told a story kind of earlier in the window, really, about the idea that, Liverpool, it was leaked, wasn't it, that Newcastle had kind of rebuffed an approach for Isak from Liverpool earlier in the window. This is before they made the bid subsequently in the window. And, it was put to me that kind of a lot of that noise came from the Newcastle side so that they could look kind of strong in that moment, just in the moment they were about to lose out on Ekatike. So, football, and I've heard that's one of many stories like that. Football it's stupid, it's completely daft at times, and it's childish, really. So yeah, I absolutely think that would be a factor in the thinking, that they wouldn't want Isak to come off the bench and potentially score the winner against them because of how that would make them look. So yeah, I can completely believe that they're dragging it on for that reason.